Hi, today we are talking lesson 81, which is about angle measures. And once you've had all this, you will not see angles the same. So we need to begin with some vocabulary. Our first piece of vocabulary kind of sounds like what we call an oxymoron, or it's kind of ironic because it's two words that you would think would be opposite of each other. This is the word. Let's see. It is a straight angle. A straight angle, S-T-R-I-G-H-T, is an angle, I'm going to scroll down, that measures 180 degrees. That, now looking, you're thinking, how do I know that it's 180 degrees? But I want to point out this tool, and it is called a protractor. And it is used to measure angles. So you can take a protractor and you can measure out angles. I'm going to show you, we're going to go along this line, and I'm going to, going to create shapes, and I'm just going to do lines. Okay, so I'm going to go from here to here. So we have a beautiful line right there. And you can, if you notice, we can adjust it. So the measure of the angle is this little piece right through here. That is the measurement. So, and when we have two lines that intersect, we can measure the angle. So I'm going to take I'm going to undo this, and we're going to mess around with it. So here I'm looking at my protractor right here. I'm going to create a line, and I'm going to make this 30 degrees. Now I can change the measurement of that angle. I can go up 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 70, and we keep going up until you hit 90 degrees, which we know is a right angle. Then we keep going to 100 degrees, 110 degrees, 120 degrees, 130. Look at how big that angle is. 150 degrees, 160 degrees, here's 170 degrees, and look what we have, 180 degrees. Now, that's where we get the 180 degrees. Notice that, you can't see it, so I'm trying to point it, but notice that our 180 degrees is what we call a straight angle. Up right here, and then all of a sudden you've got, it looks like a line. One thing to note, just because our protractor stops here does not mean that angle measurements don't keep going. If you look, we can go this direction, and whoa, we're going to scroll up. And those all have measurements as well of the angles. So, some things that you need to know. First off, an acute angle is less than 90 degrees. Whoa, I'm still in angle mode. Okay, here we go. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees. So anything from here through here is an acute angle. Anything in that, any line that goes from there. A right angle is 90 degrees. Now, an obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees. So if we were to shade this, any line that goes from here over to here, we would view as obtuse. Now, if we use a protractor, and a straight angle we know is 180 degrees. Now, using a protractor, we can identify the angle in each. So at this moment, we have 90, we have an angle that's a little more than 90, not quite 95. I would bet that it is around 94 degrees. In this situation, we have an angle going this way and an angle going this way, and it just looks a little more, it's a little more than 90 degrees because we're measuring it this direction. Let's see. I'm going to erase this. So, but you can see if I were to do a little thing, then you could see that this is a little more than 90 degrees. So a little more than 90 degrees, it is going to be 91 degrees because our base is right here and we're moving this direction. So we're not using these numbers, we're actually using the inner numbers, and it's a little over 90. So if it's 91 degrees, that tells us that it is obtuse. Let's measure this little guy. Here's our base, and then it we take it and we go around and we look. Now, are we going to use this? No. We're using the inner numbers when our angle is going this direction, and we can see that this is somewhere between 160 and 170. I am going to say that this is 165 degrees. And then our last example, and that is we look and we're going this direction, so we use our outside numbers, and it looks like it's not quite 55 degrees. It's a little before 55. So I'm going to say it is 54 degrees. And we know that this is an acute angle. This is the beginning of your exploration into angles, measuring them. It is such a handy tool, and it's handy to know because you'll use it in a lot of different applications, mostly in geometry, but also in things if you're building or creating anything, you'll want to know your angles. So good luck with all this.